In war, almost everyone loses. But for military contracted corporations, a major conflagration can be hitting the jackpot. A month before things heated up in Ukraine, the CEO of Raytheon, a major Pentagon contracted corporation, boasted that he saw opportunity.
We are seeing, I would say, opportunities for international sales. Of course, the tensions in Eastern Europe, the tensions in the South China Sea, all of those things are putting pressure on some of the defense spending over there. So I fully expect we're going to see some benefit from it.
He wasn't wrong. Since February 24th, when Russia moved in to protect Donbass, military contracted companies like Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and others have seen their stocks soar. Joe Biden sent $1 billion worth of weapons to Kiev in just 1 week, and he had to buy them from somebody. Plus, this war has got U.S. military corporations some new long-term contracts. Germany is spending over 1 billion euros to boost its military. It's committed to spend at least 2% of their GDP on the military each year by 2024.
Russian President Vladimir Putin created a new reality with his invasion of Ukraine. It's clear we need to invest significantly more in the security of our country in order to thereby protect our freedom and our democracy.
New commitments to buy weapons are coming in from Romania, Denmark, France, Poland, the Netherlands, and Italy. The NATO countries are planning to build their own mini army for Western Europe.
We have to be able to react, and one of the ways to react rapidly is the EU rapid deployment capacity that has been agreed. We cannot act alone. We want to act in a more coordinated way among us, and we want to act in a more integrated way with our partners. Acting in complementarity with NATO, which remains certainly the cornerstone of the territorial defense of Europe.
But some in America can smell some foul play.
The war drums are beating very heavily because, look, it's a great distraction from the political crisis. It rallies everybody around the military-industrial complex and the media complex as well.
What we have is, unfortunately, Democrats, Republicans, the mainstream media, the Washington elite essentially in the pocket of the military-industrial complex.
With every war and every conflict, Raytheon's profits multiply. Raytheon profits multiply as bombs fall on schools, wedding tents, hospitals, homes and communities. Living, breathing, human beings are being killed. Lives are being destroyed, all for profit.
Wars are government-run money laundering operations from taxpayers. The job of the media is to make the taxpayer agree to war through aggressive, emotional propaganda. People like me, Russell Brand, and Tucker Carlson are enemies of the military-industrial complex.
Sure, there's some pushback, but the military corporations have a way of wielding their influence. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and General Dynamics fund something called the Center for Strategic International Studies, paying academics big money to plan out foreign policy and advise politicians. The top 5 military corporations spent roughly $60 million to lobby Congress and politicians back in 2020. Now, that's a lot of money, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to the billions they make from war.
Everyone in D.C. knows that weapons manufacturers are helping skew U.S. policy towards militarism, but they usually try to be less obvious. They are cashing in on tensions over Ukraine as the U.S. pours weapons into the region.
18 members of the U.S. Congress actually have personal stock ownership in military manufacturing corporations. Ever notice how hard some on Capitol Hill will fight against government funding for health care, for food stamps, other programs? We've got to stop this spending, they say, but not when it comes to tanks and drones and tools of death. Years ago, U.S. Marine Corps General Smedley Butler wrote "War is a Racket," describing how big corporations make loads of money from war. What goes on today is far beyond what even he could imagine. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.